Running a restaurant today feels harder than ever before, right? Costs are up, labor is harder to manage. Even busy restaurants continue to struggle with profitability. And if it feels like the top 10% of restaurants are doing things differently, I'm here to tell you they are. It's not that they have better food or better service, it's that they're better at creating operational efficiencies, putting systems in place that create controls so that they can be proactive instead of reactive. They get breathing room while everyone else is running around trying to put out fires. So if you want to know what they're doing differently, that's what this video is all about. In fact, I'm going to share 4 key pieces of advice that I've seen the best restaurants absolutely embraced. 4 things that if you put them into practice will change your restaurant. If you don't know me, my name is Chip Close. I'm the founder and CEO of Restaurant Strategy. I help independent restaurant owners increase the profitability of their restaurants. I help people make more and work less. Okay, so what are these 4 pieces of advice? Number 1, the best restaurateurs out there take a profit-first approach, right? Profit first. Everything else is in service of the bottom line, meaning great food, great service is nice, but the reason we provide great food and great service is to keep people coming back. When they come back, they spend more money. Revenue is a really good driver of profit. So the best restaurateurs out there aren't shallow and callous and greedy. It's not like they're money grubby. They understand, though, that profit is oxygen. It's the thing that allows the restaurant to breathe. Everything is in service of that bottom line. And they go into every single period understanding what they need to generate in revenue, where they need to keep their expenses to hit a specific profit number every single month. In the document that I give all of my members, we talk about the little green box. There's a little green box on the document, on the P3 scorecard that outlines, that targets a specific number at the beginning of the period. And if you can get really good at understanding what you need to make, you will get better at actually making that. Here's the thing, right? What's the equation for profit? Revenue minus expenses equal profit. If only it were that simple. So what happens is so many restaurant owners, go into it and say, okay, well, if I make as much revenue as possible and I keep my expenses down as much as possible, that will maximize my profit. And in theory, it sounds like it's going to work. It never works. You have to be very, very specific, setting revenue targets for your team every single day, generating budgets off of those targets. If you hit those targets, then your budgets will be in line. What happens if you don't hit your revenue targets? Then even if you keep on budget, they are going to be over budget because now your budgets are based on a number that you're not hitting. The best restaurateurs take a profit-first approach. You must do that. Number 2, second piece of advice, it sounds counterintuitive, but you got to have an exit strategy. You have to know what you're building towards. What are you optimizing for, right? So if you ultimately want to sell the business, great, fine. That will tell you something about how you have to run your operation. If you eventually want to franchise, if you want to reinvest your profit to expand on your own, to have multiple 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 50, 500 locations, there's a different path for that. And if you simply just want to go live on a beach somewhere, live off the distributions that your well-run, highly profitable restaurant gives you, cool. I love it. Whatever you want to do, you just have to understand what you're optimizing for. Because I've talked to plenty of people that are saying, hey, I want to run this restaurant for like 8 or 10 years and when my lease is up, I'm just going to shut it down. That's okay too. We have to stop looking at closing as failure. It's not. There's a life cycle to a restaurant. You have to understand what you're optimizing for. The very best restaurant owners in the world understand that there is a process. There's a life cycle for all restaurants, that this restaurant's not going to be around forever and ever and ever. This restaurant has a life, and understanding where you are in its life and making sure that the restaurant is providing you what you need it to provide. Those are the 2 pieces of advice. They're crucial. The first 2. Number 1, profit first. Number 2, understand your exit strategy. What are you optimizing for? The third piece of advice that the very best restaurateurs embrace, keep in mind, is that they empower their teams. And that means that, yes, mistakes will happen. When you let people have the authority to make decisions for the areas that they're responsible for, yes, sometimes they will not make the right decision. Sometimes they will not make the decision you want to make, but you will continue to be the bottleneck until you empower your team to take a stand, to go forward, to do what needs to be done. I talk about the 3 E's all the time: educate, empower, and encourage. Educating means you train people, you teach people the things they need to know, and you give them the tools they need to excel at their job. Then you empower them, meaning you trust them to make decisions, and you review those decisions for sure. And there are things that need oversight, and there are decisions that are above their pay grade, of course. But everything under that threshold, they're responsible for, and you review those decisions on a weekly or monthly basis. So you say, yep, that's what I would have done. Yep, that's what I would have done. Or actually, okay, I understand why you did it that way, but had you considered this? Or I know why you did it, but I would have done that. Or you can say, I really don't know why you made that decision. You should have done this other thing. Whatever it is fine, but you have to be able to empower them to make decisions. Finally, then, that last E is encouraging, right? You have to encourage them to reach out, to provide the support or to ask for the support they need. That is what you are there for. Really, a leader is there for oversight and support. It's not doing every little thing. We talked about this in a previous video, but it's the difference between push leadership and pull leadership. Push leadership means you're pushing people forward. You're telling them what to do. You're pointing to the things they need to do it. You're telling, do this, do this, do this. You're wagging your finger at them. And that's not the best way that a leader can operate. Go to a pull mentality. This is what I need you to accomplish. You put a plan in place and you tell me how you're going to accomplish this thing that I'm telling you we need to accomplish. Understanding that empowering your team, and really all 3 of those E's, educate, empower, and encouraging, how powerful that is for any leader. And finally, the 4th piece of advice that I want to share with you, man, do not take advice from people who aren't going where you're going. Right? So there are people who don't have the life I have. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an internet entrepreneur. I run a coaching business. I run my own business. There are plenty of people out there who don't have the fortitude to run their own business, and that's fine. Why would I take advice from somebody who's an accountant? Why would I take advice from somebody who works, landscaping? I wouldn't, and neither should you. So if the other people in your town, if there are other restaurant owners, you have to understand if they're optimizing for the same thing you are. If there are other people in other lines of work, they don't see the world you see. I would seek out people who see the world the way you see it, who are going where you're going, who have done what you have done. But do not take advice from anyone who's going to somewhere different than where you're going. And this goes back to what I said in the beginning. Understand what you're optimizing for. If you have a clear idea of where you're going, then you can put a plan into place to get you there. Or you can look at other people who have gone where you're gone. Or you can make friends with other people who are going where you're going. But this is a really powerful piece. Do not take advice from people who aren't going where you're going. There's a saying here. It says, it's lonely at the top. It is. It is lonely at the top because most other people don't see things the way you see them. That's the loneliness, the challenge of being an entrepreneur, which guess what? You are. When you've started your own business, run your own business, right? You can't talk to even your spouse. They don't quite see things. And you certainly can't talk to the people below you. They come to you for answers. They expect strong leadership. They expect decisiveness. They say, there's a cliche for a reason, it's lonely at the top because it's hard to find other people who are doing what you're doing, who have done what you want to do. Regardless, you got to keep going. Those are the 4 pieces of advice I want to share. And tied into this, really, I want to say if any of this resonated, then this is worth a conversation. It's worth me just mentioning about the program I run. So I run something called the P3 Mastermind. It's a group coaching program for independent restaurant owners who are looking to dial in profitability and scale their businesses. If that sounds like you, we've got an incredible community, right? If you don't have these other people who are going where you are going, then I want to introduce you to this community because there's a lot of other people who are doing what you're doing, who have already done what you're hoping to do, who are optimizing for the same thing. P3 Mastermind is a group coaching program. It's a monthly recurring payment. You stay as long as you want. It's an incredible opportunity to make the impact that you're looking to make. If you're looking to dial in profitability, make more, work less, and ultimately put yourself in a position to grow, then use the link below, grab some time on the calendar. If any of this resonated, I'd also invite you to make sure to subscribe, hit the bell. You'll be notified about future videos. Put out new videos every single week. Look forward to seeing you guys right back here.